Hi, I'm going to take a few seconds to share with you how it is that we're going to ask you to mark absences from your classes. For this week, we're going to start with this week. We have a system that we think will work well for this week. When we start adding grades into Illuminate, we'll make a decision whether we want to keep using this process, because that has some advantages I'll explain in a minute, or just move over to using Illuminate entirely for attendance tracking. But because we're not using Illuminate yet, we do need to go ahead and have a central place where we're showing which students have turned in their work, because that will equal which students have that will equal attendance for this week. So to do that, I've dropped into Ms. Alexander's second period bio class. Thank you, Ms. Alexander, for having me in your class. I'm doing it because you have some great assignments here and a good assignment for me to use as an example. So there is a virus assignment. It is not quite due yet, but it is going to be due soon. And so I'm going to pretend like it is due already, because I'm going to show you an example. So we start here, we go into the assignment view. I'm actually not worried right now for attendance purposes about marking who has turned it in. I'm worried about marking who has not turned it in. And so I see that two students who have not turned it in, Emma and Sabino, that's what I'm going to use for my example right now. And to mark it, I'm going to need to access a different tab, a tab that everyone's going to have access to. And here it is. This is all the students in the school, and we're going to be using it to track who has been turning in their assignments. Well, actually tracking who has not turned in assignments. So I need to be in second period. This is Ms. Alexander's second period class. And I need to go and I need to find Emma. There's a couple ways to do this. You can just obviously just go ahead and screen and just kind of go down person by person, but you can also go ahead and just search. And when I search, I see Emma's name right here. Now, Emma did not turn in her work, and so I'm going to go ahead and just note that by writing the name of the course. She did not turn in her bio work. And then the next student, I'm actually going to type it in the control. I did a control F to find it, and that is Sabino. And now Sabino also did not do his bio work, so I went ahead and just put in bio. Thanks to some fancy work from Ms. Hooker, we have conditionally formatted this, so as soon as you type in the name of as soon as you type in any word, it's going to mark it as read. And so what's happening here is that by putting these in, Ms. Alexander is noting the absences basically from her class so far, if these are students who don't turn in the work. So we're asking you to do this for all of the assignments you give. So a lot of the first round assignments are finishing up this week. So we'll ask you to go into this document and mark it for this first round of assignments. And then after the second round, you'd go ahead and you mark it for the second round. So this column is where Ms. Alexander would mark it for her second round of assignments. So one of the reasons we're using this document is that if you notice this point of contact here, that this is a document that shared leaders are going to come back and look at and be able to figure out who do we need to follow up with. Because if we start seeing that Emma is missing assignment after assignment after assignment, and that goes, all the way through, sorry, wrong column. And that starts seeing that all the way through in all of her classes, then that's going to start being an indicator to us that we need to be following up with these students. And so this is marking attendance, but it is also aligned to our system that we plan on using to help support all of you as you are marking off, who's doing work and who's not. We know it's not possible for teachers to go ahead and start following up with every single one of the students all the time. So we want to have a team in place where we've split up the students and we can help follow up with those students with you. So again, just to review, when you find there are students who have not turned in your work, they will be in the missing. This will be missing once the due date hits. It'll say missing. We go ahead and find the name, Jonathan Cabrera. We go into the list here. You can just scroll for Jonathan Cabrera alphabetically, or you can go ahead and search for his last name, but it's going to find it right here. And you mark the course, and then you are all set and keep going on to the next student. And you only have to do it for missing students, which will cut down on your workload overall. Okay, thanks.